Sie hören Sport und Musik.
Das Spiel ist aus! Deutschland ist Weltmeister!
Mario Götze! Mario Götze!
Tonight, whether you call it football, or soccer, a German American and a German in America dare to call it Fußball. German foosball from an American point of view. Let's add some buns to that hamburger and join them for the Schnitzel Boys Deutschland Hour.
Yeah.
It's really not just the Deutschland Hour anymore.
No.
It's now the combo hour.
Yeah, we haven't updated. We're hosting a podcast that needs a little bit of TLC that neither of us have given it yet. And we're still under kind of half our old format with a new format.
This is like the equivalent of a farm stand. You kind of go to the farm, and they don't have exact change always. Sometimes you need the Venmo. And
it's also seasonal. Like
you got to drive. You got to drive over the muddy road when it rains. You're worried that you're gonna go off the. But then the goat cheese is amazing though.
And the fresh mozzarella. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Fresh made mozzarella. I used to live down the street from a farm stand in Long Island. They make fresh mozzarella.
And it's it's off the beaten path. You're not everybody. Everybody can go in the supermarket for the Cabot cheddar or whatever, and it's fine. But like sometimes,
because farmers deliver. Just drive to the farm. Actually, reminds me, I should probably do that. If you drive up north here in LA, up north more in the country, you just drive through farm country, and that's what it is. It's nothing but farms and farmsteads. And I need to take advantage of that.
I mean, it's really all over the country. There's there's farms everywhere, pretty much.
I like it. Yeah, in North Carolina, we found a farm where we got our eggs. I did a project once where I was looking for farm eggs. There's a website where people will have it, but I ended up in just some guy's house, like in a neighborhood here, and he had like a chicken coop in back and just gave me his eggs from there, which was fine, but getting them from a farm is cooler. And then the eggs ended up not being great in any way.
Oh, really? Huh.
So I went back.
Trader Joe's right now has these heritage breed, or they're green almost in hue, incredible. They don't have them every time, but when they have them, I buy two. So good. The yolks are deep orange.
Oh, I'm gonna do that. That's something. So when I go to Deutschland, the eggs in Deutschland are really good. You can taste. I'm explodes your mouth. You're like, this is what an egg tastes like. Then when you come here and you buy eggs, it's only half the taste.
Yeah, it's a little more industrial.
Sum up with the eggs here.
It's more industrial, the production. The chickens.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
that's why. Yeah, you got to farm eggs, but that's not helping either. So I am a little bit of an egg snob. I love eggs.
Yeah, same. I'm with you.
So this is a good tip. I'm going to go to Trader Joe's and try to find these.
I mean, I don't know. This is here in New York. What? Heritage?
Well,
I don't know what's actually on the box, but you'll see it. I mean, it's just very different from. They're green basically.
Now look them up. I go to the Grove. They have a super fancy farmers market, the Grove, with a farm. I paid what was then expensive $9 for a dozen eggs. Expecting them to be the bomb. It's no, they're always disappointing. They're always disappointing. To this day, the best eggs that I buy are Eggland's Best, which is a very generic. You can get them anywhere. Even at Walmart.
I don't know what that is, but you don't. I mean, this is obviously just because it's fancy, or it's at Whole Foods or whatever, doesn't mean it's actually. I mean, that's why the farm stands, if they're legit, if they just, then you always know, there's not going to be any funny stuff. They make it.
To relate it back to our podcast. We are a farm stand, but we have disappointing supply. Just because we're a farm stand doesn't mean our eggs are any good. Is that the point we're trying to make? Just because we're offering opinions doesn't mean they're
No,
valuable.
the point that we're making is that you we're off the beaten path, and so you put up with a little bit of roughness around the edges. That's the point I was making.
That's a better point. But you know what this is today? This is an emotional check-in. We're analyzing a couple of our favorite teams, two teams that live in our hearts as human beings.
Yeah,
and we're about 8 months shy of the world's biggest party, the World Cup.
To which I don't have tickets yet.
Me
As
neither.
if you listened last week, you know that.
And I don't think-
I was
remember,
going to start talking about raw milk, but it's fine. We can switch to the topic at hand.
Let's save the raw milk talk for next week. I think.
The underground
although you know
raw
what
milk
I did?
circuit in New York. Yeah. Anyway,
You know what though? You know what that reminds me of? When my grandfather ate his muesli, he would always put milk in the morning and then put it on the counter for 4 hours because he wanted it to like
to
get
ferment
harder or curd or ferment or whatever.
Oh.
So he ate it in the afternoon, and I've never seen that. But to me, that's probably a very German thing of his generation.
Yeah. They have.
Did your parents ever do that?
No, I don't know. I don't have any memory of that. But like, yeah, I mean, this was for years. This was the thing that I missed among the things that I missed most about Germany, the dairy products. I would go to the supermarket, just head straight for the dairy aisle, and all the yogurt and the kefirs and the cheeses and there's a lot of good stuff. And my grandfather was a milkman for a time, and so that was his job.
Classic.
So
that's why he has 100 kids.
No, I don't think he made the deliveries. But,
he didn't do the fun stuff. He just
my
did the bottling.
My grandfather, my poor grandfather, I don't think he was much of a player in that way. As far as I mean, this is obviously I was a small. I only knew him as a small child, so I can't be totally relied upon for that information. But
Sean Connery relayed a story. Sean Connery relayed a story on the Tonight Show once upon a time, where during World War II, he was the local milkman, and all the husbands were off at war, and all the ladies were at home, alone, missing, and he was the milkman, and he said he would just go around, just scoring up.
This was a fantasy, or this was something that actually happened to him?
He swears this actually happened to him. He was like a young milkman. God knows how old he would have been, 16, 17, 18 or whatever.
And people women just invited him into their home and be like, "Oh,
he was the milkman.
Can we have a little intercourse, perhaps, with the cream?"
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they said. No, but they were Scottish, so they'd be like, "Oi, come in here, lad.
Oi,
come in here, wee lad.
Start it with oi.
A little intercourse. Come on. They weren't beautiful women. He didn't say they were beautiful women. They were large, kilted women with
he felt like a professional obligation, like even when he didn't feel like it. It felt like it was part of his job description.
It wasn't a long story. It was a 5-minute segment of the Tonight Show, and then Jay had to go to commercial.
They often, I don't think, we're going to break some news here tonight. I don't think these stories that people tell on those programs, they are not always necessarily true.
True, they are written. Steven Seagal famously made up a total story. Like, it was so made up. And David Letterman's like, that didn't happen, did it? And then we just laughed. He just made it up. He just had a writer make up the story. That is true. You are right. For those of you at home, a little breaking news, especially in the old days, these talk shows, they were prepared. They were written. Publicists are involved. People aren't. It's not like willy nilly.
So somebody wrote that story, perhaps. For sure.
Like, we need to give Jennifer Aniston interesting, because all actors do is just work out all day and have no opinions professionally.
Well, I mean, they say things that other people write for them. That is what they're good at. So that extends to those areas as well, I guess.
Hey, I heard Jennifer Aniston. I heard you went to the beach. Yeah, the craziest thing happened there, and it definitely didn't happen. It's just someone wrote something.
Yeah, there was right. And so Sean Connery, somebody was like, "Well, he's been James Bond." He's like, "Well, I guess he practiced when he had that milk route in World War II."
What if that was
everybody else? All the other men had dropped off the face of the earth somehow, and he was the only guy left.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of A League of Their Own. And it's like, hi, I'm my name is Stefan. I write celebrity stories for talk shows.
And he's got the
I
yeah.
give
And
up
we
the
could
book and
we could update that tale and into present day. You know, since nobody is off to war currently in these parts anyway. So we will just it'll be the raw milk, the New York City raw milk underground illegal delivery guy, who
Nice.
also gets a lot of attention.
Yeah, you don't need war. You just have to be a dude who shows door to door. I mean, Desperate Housewives didn't take place during World War II. It was a
Yeah,
contemporary
exactly.
show.
If the husband's at work or at war, like doesn't
He just have to be gone for. He just have to be gone for at least 20 minutes, whatever that means.
20
Maybe the
minutes. I
grocery
mean,
store.
20
Yeah,
minutes.
whatever.
That's a long. If you have multiple stops to make, probably got to be more efficient than that.
I don't know. Well, anyway,
All right,
so that
I
was
think
Sean Connery's story. Raw milk.
we went all
You
the
know
way.
who's hanging out
which
with? Yeah, but I'm bringing it back. Watch me work here.
is- okay.
You know who's been hanging out with celebrities lately is Thomas Muller. He's been
Oh,
playing with the Vancouver Raptors. No, what's that basketball team called? again?
Whitecaps. What the
No. The basketball team.
the
They're playing in the
Vancouver has a basketball.
Cavs. The Cavaliers? No, it's Cleveland.
That's
Man,
Cleveland.
whatever the Vancouver NBA team is.
I don't
he's been
think
up there, he's been
Vancouver has an
playing.
NBA team, or is that?
Oh, well,
or-
Thomas Muller was at a basketball court playing basketball with a bunch of celebrities somewhere at some point. I assumed it was in Vancouver. And he was also at the hockey game. He's been crushing it. Thomas Muller used to be a member of the German national team. For those of you who don't know, he's an alumni of the German national team. And the German national team.
Those of
is
you who
run around-
don't know, like who doesn't know?
Who knows? Who knows who listens to this podcast? Maybe invalids. We don't know. And then, like, Thomas Muller
Oh
used
my
to play
God,
for the
the
German.
Vancouver Grizzlies. That's right.
Bingo. I knew they had a basketball team. You can't gaslight.
No, they
everything.
don't. They used to have one. They didn't. They
Well,
don't.
then where did he
anymore.
play over the weekend? Where did
They
he shoot
came-
basketball? Where did he shoot hoops?
What do you mean? The NBA would just let him play? Like it's not like
you haven't seen this?
no.
I'm finding it's all over the Twitter and stuff. Thomas
No,
Muller
the
was on the basketball
Vancouver
court.
Vancouver Grizzlies went to Memphis and are now called the Memphis Grizzlies, even though there are no
Oh, but that happened
Grizzlies. There are no
million years
Grizzlies
ago.
in Memphis. Yeah. So
All right,
I'm
Van.
correct that
I'll look this up.
Vancouver does not have doesn't have the Raptors. There's the Toronto Raptors. That's it as far as
Maybe-
NBA Canada goes.
Here we go. Maybe this is when he was in Orlando. Let's see. It's these photos. It's this photo. Whatever. You see this?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it keeps blurring. But
All right.
he is. Let's see. This thing is in French. La Parquet NBA. What was Thomas Muller? Anyway, the only reason I brought that up is because I'm bringing the German national. Thomas Muller's been crushing in Vancouver. Everyone's loving him. He scored a winner against Orlando over the weekend.
Unbelievable. I gotta admit, I didn't think, when we talked about this, I was like, I
Right.
don't know. Thomas Muller seems like a guy who does better on a good team, but this is not. He's been incredible. Scored another incredible goal. I mean, against some pretty poor defending, has to be said. But no, 7 goals, 4 assists. I think he has a goal contribution every 45 minutes currently. That's incredible. He's not going to keep that up, but still, very good.
Yeah, and
And Vancouver.
what the better thing is?
Vancouver may still win the West.
Yeah, I think they're leading now. But you know what the better thing is in the interview after the game, Sebastian Bellharter went up to him, hugged him, and like lifted him. Yeah, like in the post game interview. So he's like one of the boys.
I
right
mean,
away.
people
Slided right in.
piled,
Yeah.
his teammates piled on. I mean, it was a stoppage time winner, but there
Yeah.
seems some genuine affection. You always hear this, but it seems like in this case, it seems for real. Like he has dug in. He has taken the other players under his wing, and everybody seems to be better for it. So very, very cool. Very cool. Thomas Muller and Heung-min Son are the 2 biggest impact signings, right?
Since Messi.
In recent memory. Since who? Since Messi. Yeah, I guess since Messi.
So here you go. Whitecaps' Thomas Miller experienced his first NBA game as Denver Nuggets defeat the Toronto Raptors in a Vancouver preseason game. So that's the context.
Oh, they came to Vancouver because
Came to Vancouver, and then he came on the court and partied with the boys and shot some jump shots with the guys. German soccer icon Thomas Muller enjoyed his first NBA experience on Monday night, sitting courtside at Vancouver's Rogers Arena as the Denver Nuggets defeated the Toronto Raptors. He's also been at he has also been the Vancouver hockey games and stuff. Yeah, he's crushing. I love it. But Thomas Muller, right? They could lead the West. I think they're leading the West now. There's only one round left. We did have MLS games over the weekend, I guess, but like I said, that's almost
LAFC still has 2 games in hand. Like they're the. I mean, over the weekend.
So.
No, one
Are you
more.
Sure,
Yeah.
I thought they all had 33.
Pretty sure.
Because
the West had a lot more games left, and a bunch of them were played over the weekend.
Everyone's at 33. Everyone's at 33.
Wait, LAFC. How did that game turn out then?
Which one?
The last LAFC game. I guess
LAFC
I
beat
missed
St. Louis. They beat Atlanta 1-0. They beat Toronto 2-0. They had a game. Here we go. Let me say LAFC's last few games here. They had a game yesterday where they lost against Austin.
Oh, that's the one. Okay, so they lost yesterday. Oh, that was yesterday. Okay, yeah.
It was yesterday.
So everyone's at 33. So Vancouver is going to win then, probably, possibly.
Let me check out the standings. Well, the second place is San Diego, not LAFC.
Right. So this was a big loss because they were still on route to win.
You're right.
But they played a lot of games.
Vancouver is at 63, San Diego's at 60, LAFC's at 59. So I think San Diego is the only team that can overjump Vancouver over next weekend. Other than that, Vancouver gets the West. But who cares if you get first or second in the West, to be honest? Neither of you the Supporter Shield winner. It doesn't really matter.
I completely missed this game yesterday. Look at me.
Yeah.
Oh, so
the only thing that's up for this weekend, just to finish our MLS talk, is East is done, right? The 10 teams are in. The West, I think the bottom slot is between Dallas, Salt Lake, Colorado, and San Jose. Those are the 4 teams fighting.
Yeah, because both of them had a chance. Both Dallas and Salt Lake had a chance to clinch a spot in their last game, but they both lost. So now everybody's still. But then in the West, the discrepancy between top and bottom is so much bigger that it really, it doesn't matter. These teams are all gonna. Unless there's going to be some surprising, Austin FC is going to make a surprise run to the final. Who knows? Anything's possible in MLS. But the Vancouver Whitecaps only need a tie at home against Dallas to wrap this up. But they are going to just crush them. No.
Well, I don't think it matters because you only win the Western Conference when you win the Western Conference final, right? Isn't that how that works?
No, I mean it's a Champions League spot though.
To be top of the Western Conference, It is.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. They'll take it. They would love a rematch since their terrible final appearance. Sans Thomas Muller a few months ago. It'd be nice to see them again. Hopefully, not having the shits next year.
Oh my god.
But so there you go. That's MLS. Thomas Muller.
But on to the.
I'm bringing up Thomas Muller because he's a certain alumni of a certain Mannschaft that has 4 certain World Cup titles.
Yeah.
Has been playing since the old days, one of the elites, especially since the 50s, beating the Mighty Magwars, in the 70s, beating the Dutch, the Clockwork Orange, and then in 1990, beating one Diego Armando Maradona, and winning a World Cup title, and then in 2014, destroying Neymar's broken back, beating the Brazilians 7-1 to go on and beat young Messi in Argentina to get that 1-0 title for the 4th title. They're up for a 5th title this summer.
Okay, and so this is the title of this episode, a very well chosen title by you.
Thank you.
We're 8 months in. How do we feel? I'll tell you how I feel.
Please, this is an emotional check-in.
I felt better.
This is more of an emotional episode than a tactical episode. So
I felt better a few months ago. I mean, first of all, I feel very good today because this was a big 3 points. And with this, Nations League shortened World Cup qualification, and they lost their first game to Slovakia. It was getting late early. This was getting a little bit nervy already because it was like no more room for error. You got to basically win the rest of your games to not have this be too stressful. And so that seems to be happening. And we got an assist by Northern Ireland, also helped us by beating Slovakia previously. So this all was coming up quite nicely. And with these 2 wins against Luxembourg and Northern Ireland, Germany now sit on top of the group. And then I think probably, depending on goal differential, only need a draw. Need to beat Luxembourg in the next game. That could be possible, and then only need a draw probably against Slovakia at home to win the group and qualify directly, which would be very nice.
So the next round of games are mid-November, Friday, November 14th.
And that's
they're at
when
Luxembourg, and then Monday, November 17th, they're hosting Slovakia. And those are the last 2 games.
Meanwhile, all kinds of teams are already qualified for the World Cup, and so we could join that group in November, hopefully. But how do I feel? But if we're now looking, again, a look back a few months ago, before this Nations League debacle, everybody was healthy. We had that front line of Wirtz, Musiala. Wirtz was still in Leverkusen at the top of his game, not like a high-price transfer in Liverpool looking for some confidence. Hasn't scored a goal. We saw the 007 graphic, Wirtz 007. 7 games, 0 goals, 0 assists. Now it's like, I think 9 or 10 games, doesn't have a goal and assist. So a few months ago, when everything was different and Wirtz was still the guy that people wanted to pay $100 million for, and Havertz was playing as a 10, and Musiala was still healthy. And I was saying, with this front line, if I played the 9, I would score goals.
Right.
So those were the golden days, and I thought, we have a lot of depth in the midfield, a lot of good new 2-way midfielders coming out in the and I thought the future was bright. I thought we could really be contenders. Now we have, back then we had a lot of players. Now we still have a lot of decent players. I would still say that, but it's like now Musiala's hurt, Kai Havertz is hurt, Florian Wirtz is struggling, looking for confidence. I think Undav is, we don't really have and there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of good guys, a lot of people play well, but who do you write in? Like in your starting line, like who is your, like, this is the guy who's definitely, these are the 3-4 guys who are like the spine of the team. These guys are going to play no matter what. Who are those guys? I don't know. Do you have?
You mean the entire 11? You're saying?
No, just saying. France.
You mean for the team? Like Joshua Kimmich is one.
France has Joshua Kimmich, who now is back at right back, which in that position definitely I'm all in. I'm all in for that. So he's one, but he's not the spine if he's playing right back.
I mean, it should be Kimmich and Rudiger. And
Rudiger's
should be Goretzka.
Rudiger's been hurt also. You think Goretzka is like is our best midfielder?
Yeah.
See,
pretty much what I'm getting at is
much love to Bochum boy Leon Goretzka, but like that's not the greatest situation. This is what I'm saying. It's like there's a lot of talent, but like, do we have what?
Is there?
Yeah, I think so. I still think.
I mean, the team is thin is the problem, and we have an injury issue right now, and that's the problem. Well, like the front three line. The front 3 line of Kai Havertz, Florian Wirtz, and Jamal Musiala is mouthwatering, right? That's a good line. That's got like Barca, Neymar, Luis Suarez,
but
Leo Messi.
With Havertz, with Havertz as the 10 and somebody else in front of them.
Maybe with Undav or
Voltemada now, I guess is the guy.
Is he? No.
He's had I mean, again,
he scored today.
He
got our goal today, which is good.
Yeah, he got a goal today. The joke the observation with Nick Voltemade is like he's a very tall guy who's really no good in the air. and he scored. Today it looked like he scored on a header, but it turned out to be his shoulder. So he still's not that good in the air. He just kind of bounced off him, which happened good for him. I mean, positives again, I would say
Pavlovic was back, and Pavlovic is really important.
Pavlovic was back, and Pavlovic is good. This is a scrappy. I mean, the attitude is good. Like, people are working hard. The team is working hard. They are pressing. They're trying to be direct. This is not the days of endless lateral passing and just kind of waiting for something to happen. Like, this is it's a very dynamic team. So I do think there's a lot of good stuff to say about the team. And even Nick Woltemade, like, really worked hard, like, defended from the front. Serge Gnabry had a very sort of industrious game. He was all over Adeyemi is maybe a guy who's becoming a regular, although he's proved himself to be the mixed bag that he's in Dortmund too, where he got behind the line and had a one-on-one with the goalie and then just missed the target altogether, which that happens in Dortmund also pretty frequently. He gets himself into good spots, but then doesn't always deliver. So there's a lot of that's kind of my point. I feel like there's a lot of pretty good players who are going hard, and there's competition for spots. But yeah, like you're saying, we're sort of missing the heavy hitters where you're like, oh yeah, that guy's definitely going to play. And and you're right. A lot of that is injury related. Rüdiger, Havertz, Musiala. But you also don't know how all these guys are going to come back. Like, these are big. It's not that much time left.
What's Leroy Sané's role now moving forward?
I don't think he's in the. I don't know. Is he in the squad? Is he?
I don't think he was in this squad.
Is he injured? Is he playing? I don't know.
But the one good thing I will say, I mean, but one positive. What have I been saying for the last year and a half about Serge Gnabry?
You don't think he's good?
He used to be great. Something's up. Well, he got distracted or something, and I'm like, he needs to step up his game. And I think at Bayern München, with a lot of his competition leaving, who knows, maybe he had some heart-to-hearts with Vincent Kompany or something, or with Julian Nagelsmann. But he is finally, I think, because he needs to, he's stepping up. He needs to step up.
Yeah.
He was kind of persona non grata for a year or two, which is disappointing, because this is a dude who went to England, Tottenham or whatever, and scored 4 goals in Champions League game. Like, the dude was a beast once upon a time. And we just haven't seen that beast. And there was, why am I talking? And my face is like no talking.
You did the cocaine? Did a little cocaine before the show?
A little bit, not a lot. Just a little pick me up. Rub some of my gums. No. I have a slow, I don't know, my nose. But anyway, Serge Gnabry, I've noticed at Bayern and with Germany as of late, he is becoming his player of old, and he is taking on, because he's a senior player at this point. He doesn't need to be one of those team leaders. Talk about a key player. Serge Gnabry should be a team leader up front for this team.
Yeah,
and I think we're finally seeing that happen again. And
he was today. He played well today.
And that's a good thing. We need that.
Yeah.
Maybe Florian Wirtz isn't going to be Florian Wirtz this summer. Maybe he needs to come off the bench. Maybe Yama Musiala.
I think he'll find his way. He was good today too. He's pretty dynamic, but he's clearly a little bit figuring himself out in this new team, and a lot of pressure. But he was fine. And Woltemade, he doesn't seem to have that much real quality, I guess.
No, he does not. He's very raw.
But he's very, very scrappy, and defense from the front. Pavlovic was good. Adeyemi should have had a goal, could have had a goal. And Kimmich was good on the right. I mean, it was a nervy, although they didn't generate a ton of offense. And it was a nervy victory, because Ireland, Northern Ireland, a lot of set pieces. They almost got an
equalizer there towards the end.
Bunch of set pieces that were pretty. Yeah, Oliver Baumann I like Baumann actually as a goalie.
Yeah, he's doing good.
He was.
Which is
He's
odd.
been,
That's the other thing about this squad. It's like a lot of standby guys. Like it was supposed to be Ter Stegen, but Ter Stegen, something happened to Ter Stegen with him in Barcelona's injuries. So and then Bernd Leno said no thanks. He just quit himself for some reason.
right.
So Ali Baumann is stepping up. He's like, I'll step up, and he's been doing
Yeah.
a pretty good job. I think pretty passable job.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, a lot of there's like this squad, and again, I encouraged it. It's a very new, rotated squad with a lot of young performers from smaller clubs. It's not the Bayern Dortmund club it used to be, as it should be, because the team needed to be shaken up, and he did it. But now we're at a point where it's like, all right, the consistency isn't there for a lot of these guys because they are younger. So, it's nice when someone like an Ali Baumann steps up. It should have been Ter Stegen. It should have been Bernd Leno, but it's not. It's Ali Baumann. Is Mani Neuer going to come back? No, Ali Baumann is doing it just because he's there. And then like Jonathan Tah and David Raum and Karam Adeyemi.
Nico Schlotterbeck is all of a sudden
Nico
starting games
Schlotterbeck.
again. Yeah, for
all
this,
these guys are inconsistent, and it's just like you guys are the guys. There aren't better guys somewhere else. Those are the guys. But how consistent are they?
Yeah, and there's an opportunity for someone to really step up and make themselves undeniable, especially in this midfield. That's pretty crowded. There's a lot of options. Nobody really,
Angelo Stiller,
pushing themselves to the front. Yes,
Pavlovic.
Stiller seems to not be rated as highly by Nagelsmann. He definitely doesn't get as much time as other people. Pavlovic, I think, he's the man of the future, and he was very good. I think Robert Andrich came off the bench and was really pumped up, tried to tussle with a bunch of opposition players. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity with all these injuries. So far, there's not a lot of like, oh, wow, this guy's really stepped up. This guy, I mean, like you're saying, Gnabry, Adeyemi, those are guys that are, again, contenders. But there's still some opportunity for people to make themselves undeniable. There's not a lot of, if you ask me to write down, a starting 11 for the World Cup opener right now, like I'd be guessing on a lot of positions.
You know who else sat on the bench today, by the way? I'll do a starting lineup and get to the bench. So a starting lineup for the game today, which is a little more of a challenge, the away game in Northern Ireland, one of our more challenging games.
Well, this was a big game because if they had
Gnabry
lost,
at the 10, we had Wirtz, right. We had Voltemana up top. Yeah, they had to get 6 points, and they got their win against Luxembourg, and they got their win at Northern Ireland. So, and with no goals scored, it was 5 goals scored and no goals conceded. No goals conceded.
Yeah.
So it was a good window. They got one window left. They're top of the group, then the driver's seat. So things are looking pretty good. But anyway, we got for today it was Voltemata up top, Gnabry behind him at a 10, Wirtz coming on the left wing, Adeyemi coming on the right wing. Goretzka and Pavlovic as holding midfielders, and then a back four of David Raum left back, Joshua Kimmich right back, Schlotterbeck and Tah as the two with Ali Baumann as goal. That was the starting lineup. We had Voldemar Anton come on for Pavlovic, which is a center back for holding mid. So I think that's just a holding the score thing. Maxi Bayer on for Karam Adeyemi.
Right.
Jonah Burkhardt on for Voltemata. Robert Andrich on for Gnabry. I think that's also sort of a defensive move. And then we have Riddle Baku on for Florian Wirtz.
Yeah. These were they were all pretty these subs were pretty inconsequential, other than Andrich trying to pick a fight.
You got a yellow. But what I want to say is on the bench, there's one Nathaniel Brown. Sitting on that bench. I've talked about him for the USA Hour. I think he's a great player for Frankfurt and a really exciting German-American prospect, and he hasn't accepted call-ups. And I think it's because Germany needs him. Like, I think the opportunity. I think Germany needs him. Like, he could play for Germany. And he is a very solid right back. I guess he would be, in this circumstance, Joshua Kimmich's standby. Right? We got Robin Koch on the bench.
Probably.
Robin Koch is also a right back, right? Am I wrong?
No, he's a center back.
Yeah, Nathaniel Brown is the alternate right back for Kimmich on this squad. I don't see really any others.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why Kimmich is, because there was almost an official announcement that he wasn't going to play there anymore. But I think
Right.
the reality is just there's a lot of good options in the midfield. There's not a lot of good options at right back. And I mean,
one
on
of
the left,
many moments of Joshua Kimmich's later playing career that is a little bit of a head scratcher. He's had a few moments where he's been a little bit of a diva, and he's announced and he's been public about things like people not supporting him, not getting vaxxed, and him not wanting to play this position again. Like he's had some diva moments, I think, in this phase of his career.
yes,
And it's nice that someone talks, then he went to star at that TV show randomly. Just,
Tatot.
Tatot. I guess it's a small thing, but still, it's like you had a game on Friday. Why
that was not a problem. I don't.
Yeah, but anyway, he, I think behind the scenes he gets talked off the ledge a lot by people. It has to be managed at this time.
Yeah, he seems
so when he's managed properly,
he's a fiery guy.
So if he's disciplined and working his butt off and playing right back, that's a good thing. Let's hope that's his mentality come this summertime.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, I thought Schlotterbeck had a good game, which I'm not always a fan of his, but he was very good today. And I think him and Ta are kind of perhaps a good combo, better than Ta and Rüdiger, because Ta and Rüdiger are sort of, they have the same strengths and weaknesses, and
Rudiger's
a lot of the time, Germany, especially against these supposedly lesser teams, if they have a lot of the ball, and then if there's a counterattack, like Ta definitely looks a little bit immobile, especially in a two-man back line. Schlotterbeck just is quicker and covers more ground. He in the past has been a little error prone, but today he was very good. But yeah, even that, like, who are going to be the starting center backs at the World Cup? I don't know. Ta and Rüdiger, we thought, but they have not been great together so far. They have not been very good as a team.
No, they have not. So we're about 8 months away, right? Moving forward, what I will say is that the last Euros, I thought Germany looked great. It was the best I felt about Germany in quite some time. I definitely didn't feel great about them in 2020, the 2021 tournament, I guess, or 2022 or 2018. And then Euro 16 was even kind of on the forgettable side, right? But Euro 2024, I do feel if they had that controversial handball against Spain and Spain got the win, I do feel in all my heart that if that was not called and Spain did not get that penalty, that Germany could have won that game and would have gone on to win the whole
game. They definitely had some chances there. Kai Havertz's chip comes to mind. Yeah. And
but that team looked good. Like that was hey, this team could win this tournament.
They were contenders. Yeah. It felt that way. It felt like, wow. I mean, Spain's always tough. You can't say like, right, oh, we got robbed or anything, but it was like, yeah, right, it felt disappointing because you felt like they could be up there. And
they could have. But that was summer of 2024, right? That wasn't too long ago. That was
early when I was saying, like, it was like even 6-7 months ago. I thought we could be contenders. Right now, I don't. Now, I don't feel that way. There's a lot of injuries and there's a lot of uncertainty about who the guys are, who the spine of the team is, and so
we had a rough
there's still time. There's still time. This is not. Hopefully, a lot of these injured guys will come back, and hopefully, it's not like this is not a doomsday. I'm not saying like, oh, it's all terrible. It's going to be a longer tournament, 48 teams. There's going to be some janky squats. In that, I mean, you already see, no offense to anybody in particular, but already when you look through the list of already qualified countries, you see a lot of countries where you're like, I mean, Uzbekistan is going to be at the World Cup, and
$900 goes
$900. You can buy a subscription for Uzbekistan tickets for $900 a piece. So. There'll be a little time even at the tournament, I think, to get going. So it's all fine, but yeah, that's
a good point, actually. Right now, we're talking about Germany not knowing its guys as a bad thing, which normally it is. But it's actually a really good point. I think in a longer tournament setting, the fact that all these guys have gotten significant minutes means Germany is more prepared to rotate during the tournament than other teams are, which will actually be a good thing, I think. I think that's
Yeah,
smart.
possibly. And I
So-
think, and I think Nagelsmann has been good about that throughout his tenure as a coach. He's been very good about getting people into the fold, giving people opportunities, creating competition, finding people.
With Nagelsmann, most coaches you feel they have their guys, like guys they like and guys they stick to, right? That's a usual thing. Like Löw always had his guys, and
Oh my God, yeah, to a
the
fault.
Barca guy, Hansi Flick had his guys. Puch has his guys. Greg has his guys. Like coaches have their guys. With Nagelsmann, I don't get that feeling at
It
all.
doesn't seem
With
like
Nagelsmann,
like
if you're performing, you play. If you're not performing, you stop playing.
yeah, he's got
Which
a
is
lot
how I've
of,
always thought it should be.
to some extent, but I mean, at some point, he does have to find, who the people are. I think that is also part of. But I think sometimes that also just emerges during a tournament. I mean, that was always the rub about Germany being eine Turniermannschaft,
Right.
a tournament squad,
Tournament.
whatever that means exactly. Supposedly,
Yeah.
the idea being they start a little slow and maybe drop some points in the group stage and don't look their best.
The
But
English
then as the things
invented
go on, they'll get it together.
The English invented that term. It's like, you guys are good at tournaments. It's like, yeah, we're actually good at the sport too. Tournaments are where we win titles. There's no other places to win tournaments. So the English are like, oh, you're a tournament team. It's like, well, we're actually just a
Tournament
good
team because we
soccer
win them a
team,
lot,
and we
yeah.
also win tournaments. Yeah. But anyway, but if those stereotypes are true, this is the tournament to do it in, because it's the longest tournament in history. I think it's got the most rounds, in history of the World
Yeah,
Cup.
it's got more and more.
And we have a rotated squad. So things we're looking at is hopefully let the boys come back, especially your Musialas, and then let your injured boys come back, because right now the squad is a little thin, especially at the 9. All of the 9s are kind of injured right now, except for Nick Voltemata. Nick Voltemata is a little too raw for me right now.
I mean, he's plays for Newcastle, the Premier League. He scored a couple goals for them. I think I predicted him to be a flop there. That has not been the case so far. Is he
scoring over there?
He's scored a couple goals, and I mean, so yeah, to be seen. Like, I mean, I agree with you. I don't like, he doesn't pass the eye test to me, but I'm happy to be wrong. Like, if he because he's very young, so if he really hits in Newcastle and comes into the World Cup confident and ready to play, and he's the 9, that'd be great.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe the next few months will be huge for it. Maybe he'll really grow into himself and then explode over the summer, right? One can hope. But yeah, there you go. So how are you? So this is an emotional check, and we didn't really answer it. 8 months in, how are you feeling? It's just unsure. You just don't know who the guy is.
I feel a little up in the air. Yeah, about the team. I felt better 6 months ago. For sure.
True. Yeah, but it's good that we got knocked off our rocker now as opposed to this summer.
That's true.
Having a bad 2025 is good versus having a bad 2026.
Yeah, I mean, and for that reason, I'm not like doom and gloom. I think this is all, like I said, it's all fixable, but and not even fixable. I mean, they're hopefully qualifying low stress if all goes well in November, and so it's not like it's even anything's on fire, but it's just sort of, it's a little bit like, yeah, there's a lot of decent players, but we need somebody to sort of really make a case for themselves as undeniable on the squad, and that's currently not happening.
True. And also got some vets around. What's the Leroy Sané situation? Will Serge Gnabry keep
bring back Thomas Müller, man?
Maybe he's available. He's playing. He's in Vancouver. Right after he wins MLS Cup, he goes, I mean, they don't have to pay for a big ticket for him. I mean, maybe they're
No,
based in
he's
Canada.
already
Thomas
local,
Muller's
yeah.
already here. But
Can
there
just
you go.
call
So
him up,
that's Germany.
call him up as an
That's-
injury replacement if somebody like breaks an ankle. Can come on short
Yeah.
notice.
I think everyone would be fine with that. I think the fans would love it. Everyone would love it. Thomas Muller would go. Vancouver would love it. They'd start rooting for Germany. All of Canada would start rooting for Germany. It's nice. Well, so there you go. That is the Germany check-in. Germany had themselves a good round. You know, a lot of young rotated guys. But our biggest concern is, who are the guys? We just don't know who they are yet.
Right. And now in the US, a few months ago, everything was doom and gloom. It was like, everything is terrible. And then what a difference one game makes.
I guess a couple games, but like, yeah, we had our game against. We had a home. We have a game tomorrow against Australia, which will be fun. I look forward to that. And then we had a game against Ecuador on Friday. And Ecuador are a solid team. They finished second place in South American qualifying. They've got good. They are a good. I was listening to another podcast today, and they described Ecuador as a very realistic team that we could play in like the round of 16. Like a round of 16 team for us.
How is that determined?
The type of like they're a team that gets out of the group.
Oh, okay.
That's
yeah,
what that means. But they don't say specifically. They're saying this is the type of team we need to beat if we want to get past the round of 32 or 16 to the quarterfinals.
Right.
Because they are that type of team. They're a seeded team who will finish second or first in their group. You know, so they're a solid team, and I agree with that. And they have a good team. So it was a 1-1 home draw. I wasn't as crazy about it as everybody else was. You know, it was a last minute. Balogun getting a late equalizer, not late, but getting equalized towards the end of the game. And Valencia catching us on a counter, which is a little embarrassing right through our defense. I thought Matt Freese.
Well, he had a pretty sick touch. That guy is good at soccer, so
he is good at soccer. So the U.S. 3-4-3. So we're playing with a back three. That's Miles Robinson, Chris Richards, Tim Ream, Matty Freese in goal. We have Tanner Tessman, Aiden Morris playing with Aiden Morris and Tanner Tessman playing as holding mids. We have Max Arston and Timo Weah as the wingbacks. So they're going up and down. A big role for both of them. And then up top, we have McKennie and Tillman with Balogun as our number 9. Now, Flo Balogun has proven time and time again that he is our most solid number 9. Like of all the guys we got, he has done that thing that on this team that I'm waiting for somebody to do on the German team. Right.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, he came back. I mean, he lost some time. He had some injuries. His club career wasn't going all that well, but he came back on the team and it was like, oh yeah, absolutely. He's the guy. And
in US colors, he plays. Pulisic had an ankle thing, so didn't come off until later. Haji Wright came on the field. But as far as his guys, Patrick Agyemang, Max Arston, and Alex Freeman are still on his rosters. Those are his guys. Puck has guys.
I think. Well, no, you talk, and I have questions for you because I didn't watch this game. I was on a plane, so I didn't see anything. I saw highlights. So you say what you want to say, and then I have some specific questions for you.
Well, I do like him calling in some guys like Aiden Morris. Wanted to see him. Aiden Morris started. Roldan coming off the bench, which I'm fine with because Roldan has earned his keep through his performances. Mark McKenzie coming on for Tim Ream. I wanted to see that. So as far as the roster stuff, it's not perfect. You know, like there's still no, there's no room for Yunus Musa. There's no room for Joe Scally and stuff like that. So I'm still curious about that. But he played Tim Weah in that position. He loves Arston. But for all intents and purposes, Arston did fine. Alex Freeman had a really rough game. And I just don't predict anything Patrick Agyemang's doing. We had CCV on the bench, James Sands on the bench, Brendan Aronson was on the bench. We didn't see any minutes from them. Maybe we'll see them against Australia. And also, Matt Freese is his number 1. But I'll be honest with you, I really don't see Matt Freese really earning it over Matt Turner or even a Patrick Schulte. I mean, granted, I don't think
Patrick Schulte.
Better. Yeah, Patrick Schulte. If he dropped an L, he'd have my last name.
Is that it? Is that it? He's like gets the German bonus.
He gets a German bonus, but also isn't Patrick Schulte actually not even playing for Columbus anymore? Isn't he on the bench?
He has not done well at all. I don't think he's.
Has he been benched lately? I think he's at the bench in his MLS club, maybe. Chris Brady isn't Chris Brady also a keeper?
Chris Brady is also a person that is a goalkeeper. He plays for the Chicago Fire.
Chicago Fire. So Brady, Schulte, and Turner were all on the bench. That's 4 keepers here. So will he maybe play Matt Turner against Australia? I don't know. All I know is that Matt Freese is a Bernard goal, and Matt Freese is serviceable.
Learn to love
He's
him,
good at
man.
penalties. He's good at penalties. But like other than that, he's just very bang average, to be honest. At
He's
least
not
that's my
average.
vibe.
No, I don't. I disagree. I think he gets a little. I mean, I didn't see this game. On the one goal, I don't know if he
didn't look great. He wasn't positioned well. I didn't.
I mean, it happened. Yeah, it's not a it's a good shot from a pretty close range. Anyway, yeah. I mean, I think he's not world class. I agree with that. I mean, I watch that man very often, and but he is not just bang average. I mean, he's a good shot stopper. He doesn't quite control his box.
I'm more of a Luis Barraza man. I think Luis Barraza should be our goalkeeper.
Luis Barraza? No.
I'm just screwing with you.
He's playing.
He's the other MIC.
I'm sure. Yeah, he was. He had the starting job, and he lost it. He is playing. He's starting for DC United, though. He started a lot of games for them, which I'm surprised. I did not think he was an MLS starting goalkeeper. We have a good tradition. We have a good tradition of goalkeepers at NYCFC. We have, Brad Stuver was Sean Johnson's backup before he became the face of Austin FC. And yeah,
are you saying your NYCFC tradition is better than New England Revolution's tradition with Matt Turner and that guy who became the Chelsea goalkeeper? And now Matt Turner's
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I didn't say that. I said we have a good tradition. I didn't say we have the best tradition of any team ever. No. I mean,
anyway.
Can I ask you some questions?
Dude who's there? Well, firstly, you can in a second.
Okay.
So USA got a 1-1 home tie. I was like, shouldn't we be winning these games? But I think the way they played was very warming. Like they had a back three, which is a recent adjustment, one that I support. I think back three is smart for us. And then leaning on the wings, I think it's smart for us. And I think the way we played against Ecuador was very pleasing to the fans. I think we held the ball a lot. We were creating a lot of chances. Like despite them getting a goal against us in the counter early, we managed a really strong game against a really strong South American opponent. And it looks good. And it's about the eye test. And a lot of games we did not have the eye test. So the fact here we are 8 months for the World Cup, Team USA, after losing every game, is finally winning and tying and playing. So we're seeing everything being stepped in the right direction. It's also a little bit more of a traditional roster, which is nice. We're heading in that direction. So it is positive. Overall, it is very positive, I think. And I look forward to us playing Australia. We should beat Australia. We're at home against Australia. We should win that game. That's what I feel. Ask away, Bjorn. Ask away.
My man Aidan O'Neill from NYCFC is going to play in that game, and I'm just grateful he doesn't have to fly all the way across the world for an international break. That's just brutal, having to go to Australia. But he doesn't. He can stay local. Okay, I have questions for you. My first question for you: you just said we should win these games. If, let's say, the U.S. men's national team was playing Brazil at home, would you have the same feeling?
No.
Why not?
No, and I understand Ecuador finished above Brazil in the standings.
Significant, yes.
And I haven't even seen the games. Did Ecuador beat Brazil during the qualifiers? Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not keeping up. But I
would love for us. So we played Brazil. Remember before the Copa last summer, and we had a really great 1-1 game against them. Remember, Matt Turner had a bunch of great saves.
Yeah.
If you remember that game, we were creamed by Colombia like 5-0, very embarrassingly. And then a few days later, we played Brazil, and we freaking stepped them, and we matched them, and we tied them 1-1. That was great.
Brazil is not very good these days by their own standards. Like in CONMEBOL right now, Argentina,
apples and oranges.
Argentina
dominates. You asked me the question. It's apples and oranges.
How so?
A team like Ecuador and USA are second-tier teams. So for them to step up with a great coach and a great batch of players, and for whatever reason, there's something right with the sauce, and they play well, that's good for them, and that's what we're going for. For a team like Brazil, you don't need players or coaches or the sauce. They're just always excellent. They just have a plethora of world-class players, usually have some sort of decent coach. They're just an elite squad. They're one of the elites. Now, if they're in a bad period like they are now, which is true, then there you go. They're not as strong as they used to be. However, it's still Vinny Jr. and it's still Neymar when he's healthy. It's still the world's best players. It's still top class players making an 11. So the fact that they can't get their act together in a bad period, that happens. It happens to Germany, it happens to Italy, it happens to Brazil, it happens to all the big elite teams like a Brazil or like an Argentina. But the fact remains, their squad is stronger than our squad. Their squad is stronger, still stronger. Their bench is probably stronger.
Well, but so is Ecuador's. That's my point. It's not. I mean,
I
so
don't
you're
think
saying
Ecuador's squad is
you're
much
saying
stronger.
the mystique is still.
Well, no, Ener Valencia is a 35-year-old dude who plays in Liga MX. I mean, is he really that? Am I mixing him up? Is he really that? I don't know. These squad guys here. I'll be honest with you. I don't. Pedro Vite is there, sure. I don't know. I don't look.
Come on now. There's some heavy hitters on that team. Okay. Anyway, let's move on to other questions that I have that I'm interested in since you watched this game. And before this whole window, and of course it's like my man Jimmy Sands is back in the squad. I'm interested in the holding midfielder position. We had Tanner Tessmann and Aiden Morris, both of whom I have not rated very highly traditionally. What happened there? Any positives, negatives? Who is most likely to have helped themselves in this game?
From what I understand, it was embarrassing because I did watch the game. I was kind of half distracted. It's hard for me to focus on this game for whatever reason. However, from what I understand, because Tanner Tessmann, we also have a problem where a lot of our players just have not performed well in a shirt, Tanner Tessmann being one of them.
Yes.
But from what I understand, Tanner Tessmann had himself a great game, probably his best game in a U.S. shirt since. Aiden Morris is new. Well. We haven't seen Aiden Morris in a while. We wanted to see Aiden Morris. He played. I'm sure he did fine. He was taken off at the end for. Well, I have it here. Let me look it up here.
Not Jimmy Sands. Jimmy Sands did not get any time.
No, he's out of the bench. I would like to have seen him. Aiden Morris was replaced by Christian Roldan.
Right.
Christian Pulisic came
who
on.
Had a very good game against Japan. Roldan. I mean, even that he's back in the squad in itself, and then got called back again is kind of unexpected. That's not something that we would have thought 6 months ago, that Christian Roldan is going to make this team.
He earned it. Like, he's playing great soccer right now, and I love it. And he's a veteran. Like, I love a dude like him on the squad. Diego Luna came off the bench, and Diego Luna's been kind of a rough. Diego Luna's also one of Poch's boys, but he's been kind of in a rough spot as of late. Diego Luna hasn't been as good as he's been in the past. So he came off the bench, and I don't think we saw much from him replacing Weston McKennie. So if I had to give a real score, I probably should go to Footmob or that. From what I understand, Tessmann was really solid today.
Okay.
We still have the likes of Jimmy Sands. We still have the likes of Johnny. We still have the likes of Tyler Adams, around.
Tyler Adams' wife they were having a kid. That's why he's not.
Johnny's been injured, I believe. Yeah.
But Johnny's been injured, and also big question mark is he doesn't. Yeah, and he moved to Atletico Madrid. It's unclear whether he's even a starter there. So, Johnny's maybe not the midfield savior. So if Tessmann can step up and take that spot, that's gonna. I mean, I think the team has given up on that kind of ball progressor playmaker kind of, although Tessmann, I guess, is that person. And he got a secondary assist on the goal, right? And the old MLS assist. So, I'm looking forward to seeing more from him. Now, the next question, the formation, this new formation that sort of he first successfully implemented in the second half against South Korea, and since then that's been kind of everything seems to be going better with this three in the back. Pochettino actually, I heard a press conference where he sort of very complicatedly, I guess he's not a guy who thinks in numbered formations that easily, because he was sort of explaining how off the ball, it's more of a 4-4-2, and when you're possessing the ball, then there's it's 3 in the back, and he was even including the ball with the goalkeeper. Then it's like a 1-3-4. I was like, all right, whatever, man. You don't have to say any more numbers, Poch. We see what you're trying to do. So that seems to happen. That seems to be happening. However, we're a little short on good center backs, though. So my question to you, in a percentage, how high are the chances for Noah Kai-Banks to make this roster next year?
Well, I'm hoping he makes the roster. I mean, I have to give a percentage. It's got to be high because, like you said, we are going to lean on this back three, which I support. I think the back three we've said this before, but the wing backs for this Team USA for our roster is invaluable. We're just a wing back dependent team. So that's A. So we got our wing backs, which eases the midfield, which gives us room to add more reinforcements in the back, which we could use. Three at the back is good for us. I think it gives a little extra support back there.
Yeah, it seems
you're right. We're not deep at CBs. We got CBs around. If we look deep, we can scrounge around about 6 of them. If they're not injured.
Yeah, but you don't feel great about a lot of them. How did Miles Robinson?
No, I don't like. I like Noah
Kai
Banks. I like Noah Kai-Banks. And the percentage of him making the roster should be high. However, Poch has also said the time for experimentation is done. And Noah Kai-Banks was part of our last roster, and he had a really good game with the Bundesliga over the weekend. So I would like to see him moving forward. Perhaps in the November window, we'll see him again. I would give him, especially with the injuries and stuff, I'll give him 60 to 70%.
60 to 70% to make the squad. Okay.
Especially if there's an injury or two. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that the three guys in the back seems to really work, because since the team doesn't have sort of a natural ball progressor, a lot of the build-up play falls on the wing backs, and Arsene that's really where he's good at. He's very aggressive. He brings the ball out. Right. He's not a great defender.
No.
And in a 4 back line, he was often exposed. So that gives him, and that's sort of true for Dest as well in his own kind of way.
Right.
If he but we'll see. Yeah. And I think the same for Tim Weah. That's also a good spot for him.
Right.
Since if you're in a 4-3-3, maybe a little less comfortable. So yeah, that solves a lot of problems that this team has. So that's very good. It's like Jedi Robinson again, is leaving camp. He can't play. His injury is taking. So it's like, fingers crossed, everything's going to be fine. But these guys may be it. You've seen a lot of Arfsten, and he really. In the beginning, it was like, what is even happening? But he is making the most out of his opportunity. You got to give him that. And I think now this change of formation really works in his favor. So,
he refuses to call in Christopher Lund, to Arfsten's thankfulness.
And I think Joe Scally's done, right? He didn't even want to talk about him in the press conference when asked about what's going on with Musa and Scally. He was like, if we're talking about Messi, you could ask me, but if these guys basically saying it's not even worth talking about, these chumps. So
we haven't seen the last of either of those guys. I think it's just like,
all right,
it's just like people know he just doesn't want to make a big deal out of it. Doesn't mean he's not going to call them in before the World Cup. There's a good chance we can see them again.
We will see. I think Joe Scally not getting called up in this window is big. I think it says something, but we'll see.
But also, where's Joe Scally going to play? He's not a center back. He's not a wing back. I guess he'll play as a wing back, but
no, exactly.
That's not really his strength either.
But I think it's not. No, he would have to be one of the center backs. That would be. I
don't know if I like that either.
That'd be a good fit for him. He's definitely more defensive focused. Yeah, I think if this formation change is a plus for us, after Arsene is a minus for Scally for sure. Yeah. Now, the one mystery, or the one guy who doesn't really have a a natural spot in this formation is Weston McKennie, in my opinion, where like he's not a winger, you know, he's an 8 in a 4-3-3.
He's an 8. Yeah.
But in this kind of, but he likes to roam free. He likes to crash into the box, etc. So he's not. I don't think he's a good fit for one of the two holding midfielder positions. So what are your thoughts about Weston?
Well, I think asked and answered. I mean, according to the starting lineup, McKennie was like a right winger,
right?
But McKennie's an 8. Thankfully, to Schalke's lack of stability, McKennie's played like every position.
But he's not going to start. He's not going to start over Pulisic and Tillman.
Right. I think his role, if this were how we played against the World Cup, and Pulisic and Tillman were healthy, Pulisic and Tillman are the ones who engineer our attacking winger positions. That's true. Tillman really had a great game. Tillman earned it, and we've been watching Tillman just grow from strength to strength. And Pulley's still Pulley. So Pulley and Tillman can maybe shadow each other. Especially with Tyler Adams being one of the holding mids over like a Morris or a Testament. Yeah, I think McKennie's role is maybe he comes off the bench. The other thing, which would be a little silly, kind of like Kimmich it right back, maybe McKennie's role is as a left wing back. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. That would be reaching a little bit. But I think McKennie's a roamer, and I think McKennie's strength is he might have to come off the bench. Yeah, I don't know. Or he needs to be part of the holding two with Tyler Adams and have a more defensive, less roaming position. You can do that too. But you are right. His role as a number 8 is not really being highlighted as part of this 3-4-3 formation. However, like Poch said, apparently the formation changes whether you're on the ball or off the ball. So maybe McKennie is a right winger in paper only. And then in certain scenarios, it goes back to being an 8 for half the game. You know,
it's not a bad position for him because he can, he defends from the front and he has a lot of freedom. And it's just, there's people ahead of him.
He's good in the air. He's good in the box. Yeah. He's good at set pieces. We do need him on the field.
It's also, part of his strengths is like, is also the part, where he comes out of nowhere, like that's the other, if you're a winger, he's sort of supposed to be there, but like his biggest strength is like the Lampard run, right? Like the late arriving in the box, and then everybody else is already covered. So that's going to be an interesting thing to watch. And also, I think McKennie's also not really hasn't been Poch's guy. He missed the whole summer. And so now he's back and he's starting, but it's still a little bit of a question mark as to how exactly he fits in. But overall, the attitude is good. I mean, this is what Pochettino was saying, how they don't have to now worry about attitude and people being happy and engaged. Like everybody's into it, according to him. I mean, he's talked a good game after bad games too, so he just is a glass half full kind of guy, I guess. But it seems like things are trending in the right direction, perhaps.
I think so as of right now. Yeah, he's the big switch from him and Greg was like a big brother, and Poch is like, no, I'm your boss. You guys are your own thing. And so there's a lot of criticism of him not reaching out and stuff. But there was a big Paul Tenorio article in the New York Times, or was it Henry Bushnell, one of those guys, kind of about the method to Poch's madness and why he's doing it and trying to justify it a little bit. And I think that he's like trying to knock everybody down a peg. He's trying to light a fire under everybody's butt. And, it's finally showing, which is nice, and he's also like with Eunice and Joe Scally, he's not trying to create a boys club. He's just like,
right. It's not
like when you need you, be at your best at all times.
There's not this like, oh, you're just going to get called in because you have that status or whatever. No, he's done, and he has found. I mean, he has genuinely. I mean, Chris Richards is a whole new person. Tillman is a whole new person in this team compared to pre. Like he's found Arfston. I mean, we were like, okay, well, that guy's just kind of hanging out until everybody else gets fit. But he's here to stay. He's made the most out of the opportunity. I think I agree with you. Like Luna isn't quite at that level or hasn't been, and but you can just see with this formation, it really is the shape of a starting 11 is. I mean, it's kind of the opposite from Germany, where now it's kind of becoming clear for the most part, who's playing and how and where, and you have. I mean, if Tyler Adams obviously is coming in for Morris, and maybe
but you are right. This new formation is going to sacrifice maybe a McKinney or a Scally. Like there are certain guys that have that status and that history with the team, where like, what kind of role do they have in this new formation? You might have to sacrifice a couple of those guys.
It's not. It's
unclear. For other guys who can play the roles better. But we're playing best this way. So best is best. The best is best.
It's best. It's better. It's just better to. I mean, that's what we've learned in Poch's reign. It's just better to play better.
Yeah, like under Greg, stuff wasn't working, experimenting, blah blah blah. Then 4-3-3 was the first thing. 4-3-3 was the first formation. 4-3-3 was the first formation where it's like, you know what, this actually doesn't suck. This is kind of working. And then it just became a 4-3-3 team all of a sudden, like for the next 2 years. And then it might be there was some experimenting, list of that. And now it's a back three with the wings and blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah, this is actually it, I think. This is the one we're actually playing our best at.
Yeah.
So feed into it. There you go.
Well, the MMA midfield had a real, I mean, was great at the was really positive at the time, because Tyler Adams is the holding. Yunus Musa was the ball progressor, and Wes McKinney was the chaos maker, cleanup guy in the box, and that worked well. But Musa hasn't progressed in that position, and there's really nobody else who can really progress the ball through the middle for this team, like consistently. That just hasn't been the case, and so they rely on the wing backs to do a lot of the buildup, and then you just need a little more defensive support. So that makes sense.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. So it's looking good. It's looking good. It's looking okay. It's looking better than it was.
Looking better than it did.
There was some real worry there for a bit. It's looking better. I'm very curious about the Australia game tomorrow. Am I wrong, Bjorn? We should beat Australia tomorrow. We should win that game. 2-1. Doesn't have to be a blowout.
You're setting yourself up for disappointment, man. With this is not the path to happiness. You're just expecting a win every time. These are good teams.
We haven't won. We haven't beat any good teams ever. So I'm expecting a win finally. Not all the time.
Japan recently. Japan's not even good enough.
We beat Japan's bench. We tied Ecuador's starters. So it's not as bad as it used to be. But we need to beat Australia tomorrow.
All right.
Why would I be fine with us losing against Australia tomorrow?
Well, there's a middle ground here, Stefan Schnitzel.
Well, we're home. I don't want to home.
We need to win. We need to win every game. I'm like, really? And you're like, well, do you want me to lose every game?
No, no. I didn't say we need to win every game. I didn't say we need to win every game. We need to win a
except Brazil. You said we have to beat anyone at home except Brazil. That's what you said.
You're making all that up. You're making all that up. We need to beat the teams we expect to beat. That's what I'm getting at.
Well,
we usually do not.
What I'm getting at, if you don't expect to beat everybody, then you're going to be happier if you actually do win a game.
Yes, I understand Buddhist philosophy. I understand if you get rid of want, that all suffering goes away. I understand that, okay? but as a fan, I can't be like, I don't want this team to do anything. Then I wouldn't be a fan. I'm rooting for their success. Therefore, I want their success.
But rooting for something.
If success doesn't happen, I suffer. Bjorn, that's how that works.
No, but that's not the same. That's not the same thing. I don't have anything against that. Yeah, that's exactly how that works. But rooting for something and expecting it, feeling entitled to it, those are two different things. And I think there is that, and I think that is a thing that I observe in the U.S. men's national team fan base. This entitlement.
Bjorn, I am an American. America is the best country on earth, bar none. Okay, yeah, we won World War II. We kicked the butt out of you guys in D-Day. All right, and we're the best country in the world, bar none. And I am entitled to victory.
I think you're 100% right. But I think that is the mindset. I think that is how I think the mindset is deep down, where it's like, well, we used to not care about the game, so that's why we were bad. Now we kind of care, so we should blow everybody away because we.
That's right. We're Americans, baby. Remember the Alamo.
Yeah.
Remember the Alamo.
Anyway, But yeah, I guess this is me just farting in the wind. But it's biggest.
Let me give you a difference. Let me give you a difference between Americans and Germans, okay?
Hmm.
Because you need more help with that. Okay, so Americans, so Germans invented fairy tales, right? I didn't invent it, but pretty much they invented them. The Brothers Grimm. Now in America and in English, how do you end a fairy tale, Bjorn? To teach the audience how you end a fairy tale. And they
lived happily ever after. Yes.
Now in Germany, how do you end a fairy tale?
Oh, of course I knew this, but now I can't remember. You're going to tell me.
Wann die noch leben? Or something like that. In English, it's if they're still alive, then they're around, or something like that. Wann die noch leben, sind die immer noch da. Something like that.
No, that's not it. Hold on. No, I got to look it up.
I will. It is that. It's something along those lines. No, it's if they're still alive.
Oh, und wenn sie nicht gestorben sind, dann leben sie noch heute. That's the one.
So translate that in English for everybody.
They lived happily ever after. That's how they say in English.
No. Yeah, that's
which, yeah. But in German, und wenn sie nicht gestorben sind, dann leben sie noch heute. And if they did, and if they haven't died, they're still alive today.
Right. So what is the difference in the metadata between those two things? What's one versus the other? What's American versus German? What's English American versus German? Yeah. One is like, and they lived happily ever after. It's about optimism.
Optimism.
Germans is about pragmatism.
Positivity. Yeah. Germany is tedium.
Pragmatism.
Pragmatism to the point of tediousness. Yes. If they haven't died, if they're not dead, then they're still alive.
That's how you end a German fairy tale.
Exactly.
The kids before they go to bed. It's like if they're not dead, then they're still alive.
And so this is why I'm being my German self when you say, "Well, we should beat Australia." I'm like, you don't know. You don't know if you should.
I know we don't know, but in America, we freaking are optimistic and we go for it and let's do it. A miracle, the Alamo, all that rah-rahness, okay, right from our gut, right from our groin. That's how it goes, baby.
Oh boy! All right.
Is it correct? No, of course not. German. I'm not saying it is correct. I'm just saying it is the way it is, and different teams and different fan bases are due the culture that they are a part of. Would you agree or disagree?
I'm absolutely. I'm just rooting for Aiden O'Neill to not get hurt.
I'm rooting for Aiden Morris to not get hurt. So we got our Aidens up. No, but I'm looking forward to it. It's a good game. Australia is one of those teams. I love the fact they're playing Ecuador and Australia. These are the kind of teams in which we played more often, your Koreas and your Japan. So it's nice that we're actually playing these guys.
All right. Well,
anyway, I think that's it, dude.
Talked ourselves into a proper frenzy here.
Oh, we had Daniel Young on the chat. We didn't even check the chat.
I checked the chat before. NYCFC have booked Yankee Stadium as a home ground for the playoffs. Yes, because
that is their home.
Because the New York City baseball teams have all faltered. We have more stadiums than we know what to do with. We're playing our decision day game in Citi Field, and then for the playoffs, it's going to be Yankee Stadium, which we know we have at least one game there because of the crazy MLS playoff format. And we'll see. Most likely we're going to play Charlotte. But we'll find out next week on Decision Day. So next Monday, we will wrap up the MLS regular season.
And headed to the playoffs, the most exciting part of the year. This podcast is an hour and 25 minutes long, and 25 minutes of that was probably talking about eggs and milk.
Yeah, okay. This is why you come here, because you don't know what we're going to say. All right.
We're crazy. We say whatever's on our mind.
We're like the raw milk podcast.
But the emotional check with Team USA and Germany is USA heading in the right direction. Germany a little less certain.
But it could all change. All right. We'll see you next week.
Blossom. Tschüss. Wir wollten mal Blossom. Tschüss.
Tschüss.
Bis nächste Woche.